Welcome everyone to this week's video. Today we are on Fish Friday number 146 and we have a good one for you today. Today's fish is one of those fish that's really neat, and a lot of people have probably seen pictures of this fish, and in fact it was requested by none other than my wife, Mrs. Bean. She wanted me to do this fish, so of course I had to do it. Today's fish that we're going to be talking about is bam, the Oceanic Whitetip shark. Now, the Oceanic Whitetip shark, or scientific name Carcharinus longimanus, again that's Carcharinus longimanus, it is part of the family Carcharinidae, which is the family of requiem sharks. And this is the family of sharks that contains, bull sharks, tiger sharks. I believe lemon sharks are in this family as well. But the requiem sharks. Beautiful fish. Like many sharks, it is found around the globe. Pretty much all along the equator. Well, I say along the equator. Between the two like 45 and 45 to 45 degrees of latitude. Oh my goodness, now I can't think of the names of those latitude lines that basically separate the temperate from the equatorial regions. I'm sure someone in the comments will help me out. They do prefer warmer water temperatures, 20 to 28 degrees Celsius, which is about 68 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. They occasionally go to cooler waters. I believe I saw someone saying that they found one at 15 degrees Celsius, which is about 59 degrees Fahrenheit. But I cannot imagine that they go any colder than that, and probably actively avoid colder than that. That seems to be very much outside their range. It is found in offshore deep ocean waters, but they're actually, even though they're found in the offshore deep ocean waters, they're usually found in the upper layer, somewhere between 60 and 150 meters, with the 150 meters being more abnormal. And on average, they're staying at about that 60-meter range, which would be about 197 feet. 150 meters would be 490 feet. So they're usually staying right at about 200 feet deep. Now, they are a medium-sized shark. The largest ever recorded was 4 meters long, which is about 13 feet. They're usually no more than 3 meters, which is about 9.8 to 10 feet. They are a heavy shark, though. They weigh as much as about 170 kilograms, which is 370 pounds. And the reason for their weight is they are a very robust body shark. This is a cylinder of muscle. Absolutely a cylinder of muscle. Very robust body. They have this grayish back that seems to be variable. Some people say that they're bronze colored. Some people say they're gray, some pale gray. But they are always white, ventrally. You can see right here. But that's obviously not the main characteristic. The main characteristic is this right here. This right here. This right here. Who would have guessed that the white-tip shark has white tips on the fins? I should make special note that the pectoral fins are very, very large. Almost abnormally large for a shark this size. That just helps them glide through the water a little bit easier. But yeah, so got these white tips. I mean, so pretty self-explanatory. You got the white tip and the black tip sharks. They're very, very different, very obviously named. In terms of their teeth, because I know everybody loves shark teeth, they have actually two different kinds of teeth. The lower jaw has these thinner teeth and have a tip that's serrated. It's only serrated from like there to there, and you can barely see it. Whereas the upper jaw has these very thick triangular teeth that are completely serrated along the margin. The reason for that is the bottom teeth are used to hold on to um, their prey, and the upper teeth are used to saw off chunks if needed. And I say if needed because these are an apex predator. They eat anything they can get a hold of. They predominantly are eating on squid and fish, but they'll feed on fish from small fish to extremely large fish. I believe I saw tuna, marlin, things like this. They are known to scavenge off whale bodies. In fact, when whaling occurs in the western waters, white-tip sharks are usually behind the whaling ships feeding on carcasses. So yeah, they'll pretty much eat anything. These are an apex predator, but they do seem to eat a lot of squid as well, which those peg-like teeth down at the bottom are really good for squid because those are very squishy and slippery. It is typically a solitary shark. They sometimes have feeding frenzies where they'll gather together and feed together, but typically they're solitary. And they do exhibit food aggression as well, meaning that if other white tips are around them, they will, and they're actively feeding, they will fight basically. Now, for kind of the two interesting facts that we're going to end the video on, this is considered by a lot of people to be the most dangerous shark in the world. There's a researcher, I'm sure you've heard his name, I really hope you have if you are interested in fish, Jacques Cousteau, oceanographer. He described the oceanic whitetip as the most dangerous of all sharks. And another person that I hope you've heard of, author, and a lot of people don't know this part, a big game fisherman, Ernest Hemingway. He said that he basically portrayed them as aggressive opportunists that attack the catch of fishermen. And that is actually the case. They see a fish that's in trouble. When it's on the end of a fishing line, they will attack that fish. It is in their nature to. And because of those two things, we go to the second interesting fact that's interesting but sad. These are critically endangered. Some sources say they're vulnerable. I think that they're actually on critically endangered now. I'm a little unsure of where CITES has them right now, but the evidence seems to point that they are critically endangered, and I believe CITES might have them as just endangered, maybe vulnerable, but they're definitely need to be reevaluated. Open water fish like this are extremely difficult to sample, but in the sampling that has been done, it is estimated that oceanic white-tip sharks have declined. Their populations have declined by around 98%. Let that sink in. 98% seems to have been declined. And over 80% of that reduction happened over the last 3 generation lengths, which the average generation length of the oceanic whitetip, this is not, the Greenland shark that lives for 400 plus years. These are relatively short-lived fish. Well, not relatively short-lived sharks. You're talking about 20 to 25 years. That 80% reduction has happened in the last 60 years at the time of the research, which I believe was in the mid 2010s. So it was approximately a decade. But there was a study, just to give you an example, a study focusing on the Northwest Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. They used data from pelagic longline surveys. And that the pelagic longline surveys from the 1950s and observations from the late 1990s. And it's estimated that a decline in this location, those two locations, the Northwest Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico, decline in numbers of 99.3% over that period from 1950 to 1990, essentially mid 1950s to late 19. If that does not show how critical these fish are endangered, I don't know what is. And the sad thing about it is a lot of times these are directly fish. They are popular in Asian culture for shark fin soup, things like that, which is, I have my opinions on that. But a lot of times they're actually just bycatch. They're caught in nets from fishermen. You're talking about an apex predator that sees a ball of fish that are stressed out. It's going to try and get to those fish, and that's the issue. Is they're going after these fish. They're getting caught in these nets. They're getting caught in these the long lines, and not only that, and because a lot of mariners, people that go out on the sea, know that oceanic whitetips are very dangerous, especially if you fall overboard. And they are dangerous, don't get me wrong. There's evidence of that. The USS Indianapolis Colt, I believe, or the Indianapolis, when it sank, only like 37 of the crew survived. Most of the other crew died or were killed by, it's believed to be oceanic whitetip. You can go look at the story if you wish. But it seems there's a lot of evidence of attacks and everything on attacks from oceanic whitetip. Definitely not to the level of bull sharks, because bull sharks are just naturally closer to humans than whitetips. But if you are in the open ocean, you need to be wary of them. Anyway, well, a little bit sad data, but they definitely can recover. Let's try and leave it on happening. But thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you again. If I don't, please be safe. Have a great day. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you do. I'd really appreciate it. Hope to see you again. If you'd like, please click the link down below. You can leave a tip or donation. Help support the channel, but is definitely in no way required. Thank you guys so much again. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones.